I'm Dr. Aajay Shah, and today I'm very excited to bring a new Facebook Live program. This program will be every Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to cover both East and West Coast, so we chose 1 o'clock Eastern Time, and we will be talking about all various aspects. This program is very special to me because it's going to bring one of my close friends. Matter of fact, one of actually my even coach who I've been knowing for last 25 years. He lived in the town where I live now. He has moved away to Florida now, but we have stayed in contact. We will talk about that person in detail as we go. But let's start talking why we are starting this program. We are starting this program because I personally believe that as American, we are getting sicker. We are living less and less over the last 3 years. And that's partly because of our lifestyle. Our lifestyle over the last 30 to 50 years has gotten so worse that more and more chronic disease have become very common, including diabetes, Alzheimer's disease, cancer, heart disease, and many other chronic diseases. Even in my own practice, over the last 25 years since I'm in practice, I'm seeing younger and younger patients coming with heart disease, heart attack, strokes, and many other chronic diseases. So my sincere goal is to help as many people as we can to reverse the chronic disease, to prevent the chronic disease. So let's talk about the person who I've been talking about. That person is Mike Twombley. So welcome, Mike.
Thank you, Doctor. Appreciate that.
I think before we talk about who Mike is, let me tell you who I am. Most of you know me because you follow on my page. I'm a board-certified cardiologist for the last 26 years. 4 years back, I got board-certified into lifestyle medicine. I realized over the last 25 years that no matter how many procedures I do, no matter how many medications I prescribe, many of the chronic disease keep getting worse. And that was partly because people were not able to change their lifestyle. And that lifestyle included unhealthy eating, lack of exercise, poor sleep, a lot of the stress in life, a lot of substance abuse, and a lot of relationship issues. So that way, I realized that helping people to change and improve the lifestyle would be the goal for next 25 years I'll be in practice. And for that reason, I got board certified into lifestyle medicine 4 years ago. Matter of fact, I was just telling Mike before we started that when I took that exam, out of 400 people, all the doctors took the exam. I was able to score second highest. The reason I want to say that because I have personal commitment, both for my own personal health, for my family's health, for my friends' health, and for all the followers we have on our page, and essentially every person in America and in the world, it's my personal commitment to improve their lifestyle. And who other than the person who has helped me to change my lifestyle over the last 25 years would be a partner, and that person is Mike. So let's talk about Mike. So Mike will come as a person who is very disciplined, who is very fit. He actually, matter of fact, has a six-pack, who exercises regularly, who sleeps very well, who eats very healthy, whole food, plant-based, no oil most of the time, who has a great relationships, who has almost managed stress very well, more than anyone I can know. So Mike actually follows all 6 pillars of healthy lifestyle more than even I follow, even though I'm the board certified physician in lifestyle medicine. And that's the reason I'm bringing Mike, because Mike will bring his personal experience, his personal journey, how he has achieved this healthy 6 pillars in his own life, and we can all learn from Mike. So Mike, let me ask you, please tell us who you are, where you live, and what has been your life journey so far?
Well, I started off going to Olivet College, and I really enjoyed the experience for the time that it lasted. It was something that I just, I felt like getting out there and being able to help people directly. So I went and got certified as a personal trainer and jumped into owning my own personal training business. And that's upon the time that I met yourself and many of the doctors in the Okemos area, Lansing, Michigan, Okemos as a suburb there, and began my business. And it grew very quickly. I'd met a lot of great doctors in the area, yourself included. And it was something that with the help of and the experience of many of the doctors, I learned many of the things that weren't taught in college were about the medical side, the diseases that people were suffering from, and so I was able to start to focus on those. And so your approach of going at the whole human being with the relationships, with the stress, um, outside of just diet and exercise started to impact me. And so you impacted me as much as I impacted you, doctor. It was something that was very, very important in my development as a young man 20 plus years ago, to go for those walks with you and to actually spend that time and to actually learn from someone who actually had this life experience of your life experience, which you taught me that, coming here and going against such tough circumstances to make and establish yourself came with a lot of sacrifices. And in doing so, I started to see those things in a lot of other people, and myself included. And so I felt like, kind of branching out into something more than just personal training and going into nutrition, and then beyond nutrition, going into stress and psychology and relationships, and those 6 pillars that you speak of were very, very important to me early on. I just didn't know what those were. And so now you bringing it forward and it actually being something where you're certified, really, really has intrigued me, and it's made me respect more and more, yourself as a doctor and yourself as a provider in terms of health and healing diseases, rather than just managing them with some kind of medication that you could throw at them very easily. And it could be something that was not really in the best interest of the patient.
Wow, I think, I mean, I know you for 20 plus years now, and I think you are one of the most disciplined person I know. And I think even myself, I think is not as disciplined as you are. I think the way you take care of your food, the way you cook, the way you eat at home, the way you don't drink alcohol, the way you go to sleep on time, all those things we can learn, we can emulate so much from you. So my question to you is that, like, the way you are so disciplined, was it from the early childhood, or this is something you gain and this is something anyone can achieve and gain, the discipline in life?
Yes, I think that there's an element of luck in this. It would be arrogant to say that there wasn't such a thing. We're all given our gifts and our strengths and our abilities, and things that just kind of occur to us, kind of just fall into our head as thoughts and ideas and motivations that don't necessarily occur to the next person. What occurs to me or occurs to the next person are entirely different. What occurred to you was to go to medical school and to become a doctor, and that's something that just popped into your head and was cultivated over time, and you worked hard at it and you put your time and energy and everything into it. But what occurred to me was something that was fitness oriented. Why was that? I don't know. We happen to have a certain element of luck, so I don't want to put it all on something that another person could do whatever they want to do at any given time. But when they're inspired, when they hear this from your page here, it's something that they now have the inspiration, and what they do with it is kind of in their hands. And it does give them an opportunity to be able to jump on board and start to do these things and start to, incorporate whole foods and plant-based, foods into their diet and activity into their day. And so I think exposure is a big thing. And so I grew up in a household that kind of pushed me away from alcohol. And that was something that was in large part a reason I don't drink alcohol. As far as other things, I'm drawn to sugar. That's a comforting food for me. So anyone out there that is listening, I understand what you're going through. I understand what you're dealing with. It grabs a hold of me. Oreos, ice cream, all that stuff. I mean, it's really, really tempting at any given time. And sugar, by no stretch of the imagination, is definitely a drug. It does grab a hold of you. It is an addiction, and it will hold you down for the count for as long as you allow it to. So just go ahead and grab a hold of moving forward, as far as your question is concerned, I think it's something that when we do actually have the exposure, that's our opportunity to jump on board. So I think anyone can do any part of what I do in my life and what you're doing in your life. I think they really can. And I think for anyone out there that's struggling, just do the best that you can with every moment that you have. And when you do have these types of moments, when you have exposure to an opportunity to ask questions and to, really look into something that could be incorporated into your life, make sure you take advantage of that in every way that you can. And Dr. Shah, you're a great example and resource for everyone who's online listening right now.
No, I think you bring up a very good point that we are, disciplined in certain areas in our life. We all have areas where we are very disciplined, and some area we lack the discipline. And that's where, when we create this interactive team, including you and me and everybody who is watching right now and who is listening and who will be watching later on, we all can share our experiences how to improve discipline in all the areas of life, not just with health, but also in terms of finances, in terms of the, taking care of our car, taking care of our house. I mean, we all need to be disciplined in every area in life. And that's where I think sharing our experiences, sharing our expertise, whatever way, because many times I personally believe that it's not the degree which makes you a good teacher, it's actually your life experience which makes you a good teacher. Because I've seen many mom and dad who are better than any high school teacher when it comes down to teaching their kids what's good for their life and what's good for their upbringing. So I think I agree with you. I think anyone can be disciplined as long as we learn from each other, we share, we teach each other. And that's what I think I actually ask all our viewers and listeners, not just today, but every Saturday at 1 o'clock Eastern time, that please be interactive, please ask questions, please have comments, and we will answer every question and comment best of our ability. If we don't know the answer, we'll look it up and bring the next time, but always be involved and always be interactive as much as possible. So that brings up my next question, which is obviously your specialty in your field. Then what is your philosophy when it comes down to fitness for any person, any human being? Like, what do you see fitness as a one pillar?
The one pillar I'd say that fitness really rests on is the functional side. No matter what age we are, we're going to go through some kind of appearance or I guess exploration of our lives. And when we look around ourselves, we kind of decide what we want to do in this life, and that really should be what we decide is going to be the function and the reason for us going to exercise, whether it be with weights or without, with its resistance bands or it's just body weight, whatever it is that you're doing as far as the actual specifics of what your workout plan is. You should be working out for the ability to be able to do the things that you want to do. So if you want to be able to run a marathon, you can train to be able to run a marathon. If you want to carry in groceries in both hands, all the bags at one time, then you train for that. It's something that it doesn't make a difference what it is in your life. When I used to train with Amish and Saloni, your children there, they were little kids, and at the time they were learning themselves, and they were playing tennis, and they were doing those things, and that's how we exercised. We exercised according to the sports they wanted to play. So when they were that age, it was something that was wonderful, because it was, we were going after that sport, and we were working left to right, and we were doing footwork and a lot of those things. Whereas a mother of 3 is going to be more interested in being able to, again, going back to the grocery example, being able to carry her groceries in from Walmart and getting them out of the trunk, and being able to close the trunk with one hand and hold groceries in the other. So exercising for the purposes of being able to function in your life and do the things that you want to do is really what it's all about. If it's kayaking, it's kayaking. If it's hiking, it's hiking. Whatever it is that you want to do, but preparing yourself so that you're not missing out on opportunities in life that you would otherwise have to miss out on because the body just wasn't prepared.
No, I think, to be honest with you, Mike, I've listened to many fitness physicians and gurus, but your philosophy and the way you think is much, much superior, because your philosophy is to make a person be prepared, like you just said, be prepared and be ready for whatever things are thrown at that person, whether it's a groceries, carrying grocery, or going kayaking with a spouse or with a son or a daughter, or playing a tennis with a son or daughter, or running a marathon, or just be able to clean the house or garden or shovel the snow. I think many times a lot of people think that fitness means they have to go to a gym for 1 hour and run on treadmill or lift heavy weights. That's not fitness. Fitness means our body has to be physically active and physically ready and prepared. So whatever is thrown at us, and that does not require many times that much effort. I think as simple as moving every hour, as simple as walking 30 to 45 minutes, as simple as, like you said, carrying your own body weight, doing some squats, doing some push-ups. You don't have to, lift 200-300 pounds to be healthy. You just need to be doing moderate amount of activity. And I think I like your philosophy that be prepared for whatever thrown at you as in the physical form. So that brings up my next question to you, that physical fitness is your specialty, but I also know you are very disciplined when it comes down to eating and what you eat on a nutrition side. So what is your philosophy on nutrition? Because we'll be doing this thing every Saturday. I also want to personally know what is your philosophy on nutrition and what kind of food do you eat on a daily basis?
Well, for philosophy end of it, I think that the whole food plant-based diet is a great way to go. If a person out there is eating meat, I don't want to push them away and act like that's a no way to go or not an option or that sort of a thing. Whoever out there is eating the way that they're eating, start off slow, take baby steps, that sort of a thing. But as far as the best and the healthiest way to go as far as disease is concerned, and being able to either prevent in best case scenario or be able to reverse any kind of disease, you're going to be best off if you're going with a plant-based whole food diet. That's the main thing is that we're looking at things, and so many times we'll hear these conflicting ideas of, oh, you can't get enough protein, or those types of things. That's all rubbish. That's all great for marketing, but it's horrible for the truth of things. If we look at our ancestors, we look at gorillas, we look at elephants, you can name any number of animals out there, and they're all vegetarian. None of them are eating meat, yet they're huge. They're way bigger than us. And so the ability to be able to build muscle is not contingent on having a huge amount of protein coming in. There's a moderate amount that would be best for the body and building muscle, but even bodybuilders, when they're trying to gain weight, they're going to have an excess of calories and excess of protein. They're going to throw everything at the wall, and hopefully some sticks. But with regard to being able to just be healthy and fit and allow the body to actually cleanse and empty so that it's not digesting and it's focusing on the health elements of the body, mind, and emotions even. Our mental, emotional, and physical state are dependent upon us being able to step away from food, be in a fasted state. And that's why we have most of our health benefits occur while we're asleep at night and our stomach is empty. Step away from food, be in a fasted state.
Yeah, I'm going to check our Facebook Live on my phone, so I know who is joining. We have great actually response. We have consistently almost 10 to 15 people watching, and a lot of people responding. So I'm glad we are live today. I think this is going to bring a lot of good ideas and a lot of interactive live, every Saturday at 1 o'clock Eastern time. So I think I like your nutrition philosophy also, because you cover so many important things, including like the protein aspect, including health aspect of eating, including like the examples that a lot of this strong animals, they are vegan or vegetarian. And I think obviously, like, people who eat meat is okay, because a lot of the blue zones where people eat some animal products, but our goal here is to be 90% whole food plant-based. And if you have a small animal item, small animal product once a week or once or twice a month, I can understand. That should be considered more like a treat, not 3 times a day with the bacon in the breakfast, chicken sandwich for the lunch, and fish in the dinner. I mean, a lot of Americans have animal product every meal and even as a snack sometime. And that something is not only very unhealthy for ourselves as human, but it's also bad for our environment. Obviously, it's bad for animal cruelty. So I think I'm myself a vegan. I'm whole food plant based, but I don't expect everyone to become like me, and that's not even necessary. But I at least expect people to become plant predominant for their health, for the environment, and for the animal cruelty. And I think that's where we're going to continue to talk over next many episodes, that how to eat healthy. Doesn't have to be vegan, because there are a lot of vegan who are unhealthy. Eating Oreos is vegan. Drinking Coke, drinking Pepsi is vegan. But that
Yes.
doesn't mean that they are healthy. So we want to talk about how to be healthy vegan. That means whole food, plant-based, no oil type of eating. That brings up my next question, that which many of our viewers would like to know, that many of the viewers and followers would like to actually emulate, including myself. And that's a personal question to you, but I think it would be worth knowing that how do you keep yourself very fit? Like, what kind of program do you follow on a daily or on a weekly basis?
Well, I would recommend being able to try and have some kind of physical activity every day. That's going to be something that helps not only for you to be in the best shape, but also to be able to not fall off. Most of the times people will say, okay, I'll do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then they have a couple days off, and it's wonderful for being able to spend time with family and that sort of a thing. But if you're only spending a half hour to 45 minutes working out, it's not really going to be something that you can't fit that somewhere into your day. So time is kind of a silly argument there. Try your best to fit it in somewhere, even if you have to get up 30 minutes early and do something active then, even if it's just a walk, whatever it is. But be engaged with your health, be engaged with your physical activity. And that's going to be something that really helps to be able to keep you on, so that when Monday comes, it's not after a 2-day off period and it's like, that alarm just went off and I cannot get out of bed. It's not happening. Because I totally understand. I've been the one that's laid in bed myself, and it's not the easiest thing to get up, you refuse that snooze button, and get to doing something physically active. As far as the rest of the daily routine, I myself, I like to get up and do a little bit of a cardio, a little bit of abs in the morning, just because that's my time. That's my time in the morning before anyone else gets up. The dog's not moving around. My girlfriend is not moving around. We're all just, we have our own time. Some downtime is very important for the mind and the emotions to be able to really get you moving in the right direction, where you actually feel your best, you feel like you're on track, and you can actually direct those motivating thoughts in a direction toward the goals that you have in your life. And so having that little bit of time to yourself, I would always recommend, if you can get up that little bit of time early. Some people, I understand, the schedule doesn't allow for it. It's just too early, and that's understandable. But if you have the opportunity, definitely starting your day off with some focused thoughts toward, or a little bit of meditation to where there's no thought at all and just having it totally blank. Having some breathing exercise is a great way to start off as well. And then moving in, I don't have any breakfast. That's not generally my way of going. If you cannot have breakfast, it's great. Like I said earlier in the segment here, it was something that, we have most of our health benefits happening in night when we're in a fasted state. If you can continue that fasted state till lunch, in the afternoon, it's even better. But having some water when you get up, having that hydration, having a multivitamin, that sort of a thing is great. If you feel hungry when you get up, then eat. If you don't, then don't. It's not going to be a problem for you to have no breakfast. That whole idea that breakfast is the most important meal of the day, again, another marketing gimmick, which was great for them to sell a lot of cereals. But if you look at the cereal aisle, there's no health there. It's a ton of sugar, and it is certainly not something that is being treated like it's the most important meal of the day. And so when we break our fast and we do go into actually eating, have it be something where it is whole food, plant-based, something that you're actually enjoying. A cup of fruit or something like that would be just fine. It would be something that gets you going, give you some energy, and allows you to stay nice and clean. And that food itself will actually flush through your system very quickly, because it is 90% water itself. So it's going to go right out of the body, give you some energy, and allow it not to get stuck up into the digestive system. Give you a little bit of fiber as well, which is nice.
And how do you do your weight training, like strength training?
Yeah. Strength training myself, I like to have about a 30-minute workout, 35-minute workout, and it's something that is intermittent or interval training, so that I go for 1 minute at a time, and then I have 10 seconds in between, and then another minute again. And my weight training is something where I'm doing 2 muscle groups. I'm doing abs and I'm doing cardio, and it's about 4 exercises in a row, and I just do rounds of that. And so by doing that, that allows me to work 2 muscle groups, my abs and my cardio, in a cyclical fashion. And throughout the entire 45 minutes, 30 minutes, somewhere in that range, I end up getting about 10 to 15 sets on those exercises. And by the end, it's something that everything's really well worked. And then the next day I work 2 different muscle groups. And so within 3 days, I've worked the entire body, and I can do that twice a week.
Wow, that's nice. I think we're going to learn more from you how a person can start, physical activity program with all various components as we go on this live for next many, many episodes. But it's good to know how you do it so people can start to realize that, you also spend not more than an hour a day. So anyone can do 30 to 60 minutes and still be very fit and be very healthy. I think, that brings a kind of a question which is going to make you slightly blush, but I'm going to ask you anyway. I know you for 20 years, and out of 20 years, many years you actually spent in Hollywood as an actor. So I think it would be nice to know that side of your life, because many of our followers and viewers, obviously, you, a handsome man, has all the opportunity to go into Hollywood, but how did that experience help you to grow as a person? And tell us a story or two of that experience.
Well, you're right about it making me blush. It was something that was not intended. It was not planned. It was just something I kind of ran into an agent when I was on vacation down in Florida. And when I came back up, had a photo shoot done so that I could give them some pictures. And then from there, it just kind of took off. The agents that I connected with in Michigan actually started getting me some work and put me into a FedEx commercial, believe it or not. That's how it all started. And I hand the clipboard over to the person receiving the package, and I just fell in love with it. It was something that I really enjoyed. But going out to LA, and first down to like the Atlanta area to build my resume was a learning experience. I mean, it really gave me a lot of insight into human psychology. Each new role brings the opportunity to really get to know what a person has gone through to become that person in that moment. Otherwise, you really can't play it. So when you get a role, you really have to dive into the psychology of that character. And so as I went through that, I was able to learn a lot of things about human psychology, and every role that I learned, I picked up a new piece to the puzzle, I guess you could say. And so psychology became really important to me, and what a person goes through to become who they are at any given point in their life became very apparent. It was one of those things that just kind of flew up, and it was a flare in front of my eyes that I was missing this years prior in my exercise and nutrition training and, health coach, health coaching that I was doing for people. I was missing the psychology to the degree that I had actually picked it up within the acting experiences that I had. So from that point forward, I ended up starting to look at people into the depth that I had played each role and that I had researched each role to be able to help an individual. So looking at them from a much more multidimensional way was something that really helped me within the medical and health promotion field that I've been in love with my entire life. Since I was 17, I've been doing this. And so with that being the case, now at this point in my life, I'm pretty sure there's nothing else for me with regard to my heart and my mind. I'm pretty set with loving health, loving fitness, and loving being able to serve people in this way.
Yeah, I think we need you more in health. I think there are a lot of actors who act well, but they don't have any idea about the health. So I'm glad you came back to health instead of stayed in the Hollywood. Good for me, good for everybody. But that brings up the our final few minutes that Mike has been our health coach and a personal trainer and a friend and actually somebody who has guided us for last 20 years. My wife actually still does 3 to 4 times a week lesson with him in the morning. So Mike has his own health coaching company and also a Zoom based or I think Skype based personal training sessions and classes. So that that brings a final question to Mike. That if somebody wants to connect with you, either to get advice as a health coach or to connect with you as a client or as a customer, how can they connect with you? And what kind of program do you have? How much it costs? And how can they start with you if they want to start it for next week?
Well, I'm newlifewithmiketrainer.com and New Life with Mike Trainer on Facebook itself. We do use Skype, use Zoom. Also, Facebook Messenger has a video component to it as well, which I use that as well. So it can be done in any number of ways as far as that's concerned, depending on the individual and what they're using as far as their interface is concerned. But the exercise is something that we work out again for that 35 minutes or so. It can go, it can last a little bit longer with the stretching and that sort of a thing. But as far as the exercise is concerned, it's about 35 minutes that we work out, and it's the interval training. So it's something that is based on whoever is jumping on board. But we can get you started anytime that you're feeling available and ready to go, either by contacting on the website or the Facebook page itself. You can
No,
contact
that's nice.
me as well. So
I think we are going to bring a lot of the information every Saturday at 1 o'clock, which will be obviously no cost to you. It will be a lot of teaching, a lot of learning together, so a lot of interactive program. But if you need any one-on-one support, like my wife uses, even I use from Mike, if you need one-on-one support, Mike is always available. I'm always available, and let us know because both for Mike and for myself, our goal here is to help you succeed in achieving the best health possible. So if you cannot afford, if you need a simple few-minute consultation, do not hesitate to reach out to both of us, and we will be happy to help you. And definitely, goal here is to make you as healthy as possible, live as long as possible, and have the fullest life. So again, Mike, thank you. I'm very excited about this new program every Saturday at 1 o'clock Eastern Time. So we will see you next Saturday at 1 o'clock Eastern Time. Please have questions, comments. You can even ask questions and comment on YouTube. This video will be on YouTube in few hours, so you can watch it again and again. Share on your page, share the YouTube video also. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, and then we will see you next Saturday at 1 o'clock Eastern Time. Thank you, Mike.
thank you, Doctor. It's been wonderful.